You're listening to The Mary Jones Show on the Talk of Connecticut.
It can be an agonizing situation, financially, emotionally, logistically. I'm talking about caring for your elderly parents. And so many of us have either done it or are in the process of doing it, and it just is not easy. We are devoting the full hour, 4 to 5 o'clock today, to this subject, and we are going to touch upon many areas, as many as we can, that really impact this situation that, again, is so experienced by many. Kicking off this hour, kicking off this conversation, I'm going to introduce Patty. Patty, are you with us from Berlin?
I'm with you.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. And Patty and I want to thank you and your mom, who we're going to talk to in a few moments. But let's, Patty, you and I talk, and we can kind of set the stage. Now, your mother, first of all, is 95 years old. Is that correct?
97.
97?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, 97 years old. And she still lives somewhat independently?
That's correct. She does live independently at senior citizen housing in Berlin.
Which is just remarkable. 97. Oh, my goodness. May I ask how old you are?
68.
So you're 68.
Yeah.
And that is something that an awful lot of people, men and women in their 60s and certainly 50s and 70s as well, find themselves having to deal with, isn't it, Patty?
Absolutely. And I still work a full-time position.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, so do you have siblings?
I do. One, I had two brothers. One passed away in his 40s, and I have a brother that is 72.
Is he local?
He's in New Britain.
Oh, he is?
Right, but he's not particularly well, so he does what, he can. But I'm the primary caregiver and responsible for mother's care.
Yeah, and your dad is not alive?
No. He passed away in his early 60s.
Oh, so many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, many years ago.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, I can relate to the situation in terms of my mom passed away 3 years ago at the age of 91.
Yes.
And my sister and I were her two primary caregivers. So I can relate to that in terms of it is just not easy.
No, it's not.
But every situation, I also think, is different.
I think each individual person's needs and situation as far as the amount of care they need is absolutely unique. Mother has been here at Marjorie Moore Village for over 20 years. And back when we looked at, she looked at an option to move out of her apartment, which she had in the historic district of town, we realized that she just wasn't able to care for this large apartment that she had. So we began to say, okay, we need to have a plan. And the plan back then was a very simple one, and that is to get her into some kind of housing that could be long-term for her, because as we all know, it's very difficult, even in our younger years, to make a major move from a house or wherever you're going to be moving.
Yes.
So we wanted to look at long-term, what is the next 20, 30 years going to look like for her? And I'm a planner. And let me just interrupt you for a moment, Patty, because I just have to applaud that in terms of you actually made a plan. Yep.
That in and itself is very impressive.
If I could give anybody a tip, it's so difficult to react to critical situations or crisis, and then you're only really putting the Band-Aid on.
Yes.
If you can start early enough so that you form a very solid dialogue with good communications, listening to your parent or whomever it might be, as to what they see for themselves in the future. What's their 5 years look like, or their 10 years, or what are their hopes and dreams, so that they still realize that they're moving into another stage of their life, and you're going to try to assist them as best you can with meeting the goals that they want to have and creating a happy environment as long as you possibly can do that.
Patty, if our hour were to have ended right now,
yes,
it would have been worthwhile. because that tip that you shared right there is possibly one of the biggest things.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's easy to say. It is not easy to put into place, because as I put myself into the position of relinquishing certain responsibilities that I, as a very independent person, take care of, and my mother is extremely independent, to their sibling or their their daughter, son, whoever it happens to be. That's not an easy thing.
No.
Because you're giving up a part of what you've been and saying, I can no longer do this for myself. So I think from the physical care to the medical care, to financial stability, to supplementation of the services that are going to not only keep them independent, but that are going to keep them safe.
Yes.
Those are key elements to putting a program together. And let me tell everyone, please don't think that you can do it on your own. It's not possible. You need to reach out to local. That's where we went first, to our local town. Understand what systems are in place. Understand what your parent or loved one is requiring, and understand how you can fit this into their lifestyle in the budget you have.
Can we talk to your mom, Helen?
Of course you can.
Is she right there?
She is right here. She'd love to talk to you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Speaking with Helen O'Connell, who is 97 years of age. Hi, Helen.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing wonderfully. How are you today?
Oh, I just got home from the eye doctor, but I'm doing fine.
Did you have a good appointment, a good visit with him?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good, good. Well, Helen, I saw a video of you that I was watching this morning. It was when you were interviewed, and I don't know how long ago it was, but do you know the interview that I'm referring to?
Maybe it's one that they taped me playing the piano?
Yes, you were playing the piano at the end, and before you played the piano, you were just talking to the camera.
Yes.
And you talked about the fact that you had, well, a couple of things came across to me. And it's a delight to meet you. I can tell that you are an extremely positive person, and I love that, Helen. I think that is so important.
Well, I'll tell you, I really like people, and I enjoy thoroughly to have any one of them come to visit me. I have this nice little place, and I could never stay here if it wasn't for my daughter and these aides I have. They are very nice girls, and they keep my place immaculate, and they didn't mind, and I told them what I like to eat, and they cook my main meal for me, and sometimes my lunch, and do my washing. I could never stay here without the help that I am receiving. And even the visiting nurses are excellent here. They come in 3 times a week and help me take a bath. And I'll just tell you, I thank God every day for everything I have.
When you first started needing some assistance,
I would say it was about 7 years ago.
That must have been tough.
And I don't know why I fell down. I guess just old age, honey. And I fell down, and I got aid then. And then once again I fell down, and I still continued to get the aid. And as I can say to you, it has kept me in my home and very happy to be here.
Aww.
But I could never do it without their aid.
No. And so
the
you
help of my daughter.
Yeah. So you got to a point, as everyone does as we get older, where we have to accept help.
Absolutely.
And that's an important message, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very important message, dear. And as I say, they come and they do really a good job. And I have they go get my groceries. Right now, my granddaughter's getting my groceries.
Oh.
But as I say, my daughter has been wonderful.
Helen, stay with us. We're going to just take a quick break. We're going to check in with the Wall Street Journal report. We will be right back speaking with Patty and Helen. But right now it is the Wall Street Journal report. We're devoting this 4 to 5 hour to talking about taking care of aging parents. It's something that so many people have dealt with or are in the process of dealing with. We were speaking earlier with Patty, who is the daughter of Helen O'Connell, who is 97 years old. Helen, are you still on the phone?
I'm right here, dear.
Do you know what you have to tell? I couldn't let you go, Helen.
Well, I would like to say, which I had forgotten to tell you, I would love to thank all the people from CCCI and my wonderful caseworker, Maura.
Oh, we're going to be speaking in the next half hour with Molly Gavin, who is the executive director of CCCI. So I will pass that on to her. But when I was watching the video, Helen, you were a taxi driver in New York City for 10 years?
No, I was in the state of Connecticut.
Oh, state of Connecticut.
I was the first woman taxi. I understand. I was the first woman taxi driver. I did it for 10 years to help my husband
in
a business that he had there.
Goodness.
And then I taught piano pupils until I was 78 years old.
And you picked up one day Jackie Kennedy.
Her daughter.
Oh, Caroline Kennedy.
Yeah, Caroline
Kennedy. Oh, my goodness. Where was she and where was she going?
She was going to the school over in Farmington.
Oh, Miss Porter's. Yes.
Jacqueline Kennedy.
Wait a minute. I'm wrong. It was Jacqueline.
It was Jacqueline. Yeah, I thought it was Jacqueline Kennedy.
Yes,
oh,
I beg
goodness.
your pardon, honey.
What a treat to have met her.
Well, I met many, many interesting people in that 10 years, from the elite to the not quite so elite. I had a contract with the New Haven Hartford Railroad that I took the workers down into the woods. And when it came Christmas, they asked me to come in and have dinner with them, but I had to tell them I had a family at home, and I would have loved to have done that. And they told me all sorts of stories, and I'll tell you, it was a very interesting life.
It sounds it.
It was hard work, but it was interesting. And then, after I stopped all of this, I went and worked down at the cafeteria in the Berlin High School.
Oh, did you?
I worked all my life.
Oh, goodness.
After I was married.
Yes. Well, Helen, it's been a treat to meet you. I'd like to talk to Patty again, if you could just pass the phone to her. But you just continue to enjoy life, okay?
Thank you, and it was very nice talking to you.
Thank you, Helen. You also.
Thank you.
Thank you. And her daughter, Patty, will be
Hello, Mary.
right here. Hello, Patty. Well, your mom is a delight.
She certainly is, and she's a positive thinker, and she really sees the best in everybody, and I think that, plus her faith, has been her reward to live 97 years.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we have just a couple more minutes, Patty.
Yeah.
But I wanted to wrap up with you because you gave such sage advice at the beginning. I wanted to give you a few more minutes to share anything else that you've learned on this journey in terms of taking care of your mom. And I can just tell that she has a wonderful day-to-day life at this point, and she credits an awful lot of people for that, you included. What other lessons would you pass on to folks?
Well, I want to let everybody know that sometimes it's very hard because